The Packers are not a fun watch, like at any point. I don't think Aaron Rodgers believes that the Packers are a fun watch, like while he's dropping back. So
his demeanor on the McAfee show in particular has turned into like, because when they win or when they lose, like it's such a different like segment.
Yeah, it's so. Yeah, Rodgers calling for guys who are making multiple mistakes a game to be benched. Then went on to say that their quarterback coach said it was the highest graded performance for Rodgers. Which okay, so here's the thing: I kind of believe that because it's in a way, it depends on like the context in which you're grading, right? So, but this kind of goes into some of the larger problems for Green Bay, right? So Rodgers got, let me look at this. 70.6% of Rodgers' passes came within 2.5 seconds of the snap, right? That 82.9% of his passes came within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. And this is, I kind of wrote about this in First and 10. It's sort of entering Ben Roethlisberger territory of there's no trust in the offensive line. There's no trust in the wide receivers. So I'm not going to hang in the pocket and get hit. That doesn't do anything for me. We're not going to create anything out of structure. So I'm going to take this ball. I'm going to throw it out as quickly as possible. In a way, like Rodgers is doing nothing wrong, right? It's going to be well graded. He's taking the snap. He's getting it out to where it needs to be or where it should go or, something that's correct, right? He's not making wrong reads when they're going out. He's not getting pressured. He only had an 8.8% pressure rate last week. But that was, again, it was because you're getting the ball out so quickly, you eliminate the pressure, but you're also getting the ball out so quickly that there's no possible way an offense is going to be sustained in that way. Like you're just not going to gain yards when you're doing that. And that's kind of where the Packers are right now. So Rodgers is technically not doing anything wrong, but not doing anything that's going to help the passing game, like actually do anything successful and anything that's like going to help them score points. Now you're going to be going against the Bills with one of the best 4-man pass rushers in the league, a secondary that's still holding up despite some of the injuries.
Might be getting Tre'Davious White back,
right? Maybe, but so even if not, like this is still a secondary that's been able to hold up. So if Rodgers doesn't trust this offensive line, and he's going to compensate by just getting the ball out as quickly as possible, like the Bills are not a team you do that for. So even if you're eliminating the pass rush and you're not going to be getting pressure because that ball's getting out, like it's just, again, there's no offense that's going to be sustained that way. And that's part of the problem for the Packers, right? So even if Rodgers isn't technically doing anything wrong and you can grade all of those plays positively, and like that's kind of a thing when you look at like some of the PFF grades too, like Daniel Jones always had like a real good like passing grade when he was throwing like 2 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. It's like, sure, he didn't do anything wrong, but it's also like not doing anything good either. So like that, when you have grades like that, it can kind of go like, it can be hit or miss of like what you're actually grading for the process. And I think that's kind of where Rodgers is. But if they have the same game plan and Rodgers is kind of going into it for himself there, like I'm not getting hit. I don't trust anyone getting the ball out quickly. It's going to be a disaster against the Bills.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing a little bit of that with the Bucks too, not to the same degree, but Brady doesn't trust offensive line. They're running just like 100 wide receiver screens to Chris Godwin. Like it's very similar things, right? They can't run the football. Yeah, I mean the Packers. This is just the worst time ever. This is like a worst timing for this matchup, like ever. To head into Buffalo off of a bye, like the way that they're playing. Because they're probably not going to stop them. Because again, another team that when you look at their personnel, like the Packers defense has been pretty disappointing to this point. Very disappointing. A unit I think we all thought was going to be a lot better. I think a lot of that too is just like they're so hell bent on not like coming out of structure, right? Like they have players that they could mix up their scheme a little bit more, but they're not stopping anybody. I mean, you can't lose the game to Tyler Heineke. You just can't. But yeah, then you come into this game when you look at their wide receivers, and it doesn't look like Alan Lazard's going to play at this point of the week. Romeo Dobbs looks like he's getting shadow realm at this point. Like, I assume every subliminal message was about Romeo Dobbs last week. He dropped the 4th down pass, like kind of didn't get in position to catch one of the deep balls. And he's a rookie, man, and he's a late round rookie pick. Like,
right.
what
Yeah,
are you gonna
do? he wasn't their top rookie.
Yeah, the other guys that played, Christian Watson hasn't played since week 5 and like hasn't even gotten on the field before then really as a wide receiver. Randall Cobb's on injured reserve. Sammy Watkins is nicked up already. He just came back and now he's nicked up, of course. So like, what are we doing? Then they're talking about trading for AJ Green. Like, what are we doing? like that's not the solution. It is a nightmare, man. And we did finally see at least them kind of calibrate and like finally use Aaron Jones as a receiver for the first time last week. And one of those plays that did swing, the game to at least give them a shot was an out of structure play to Aaron Jones. But man, I mean, they just have nothing. Like you said, nothing creative. It's all quick. They don't have any playmakers. The offensive line's been banged up the entire year. It is tough, man. And you're gonna go into Buffalo, and you're probably gonna have to score 30 points, right? Like you just have to. And good luck.
Yeah, it's
their implied team total this week, the Packers, is 18 points.
Yeah, that
never
out.
Seen it that low with Aaron Rodgers as starting quarterback.
I mean, it checks out. It's really hard to see how they turn it on like magically, especially in this game, right? Maybe you can think it's going to be a better offense by the end of this season. But if you're looking for the short turnaround for like what they did last week to what it's going to look like this week, I can't imagine there's a way that they're just magically scoring points and putting together a sustainable offense that is going to hang with the Bills of all teams. So it's not even like you got the Commanders last week. It's not like you're not playing like the Colts and Sam Ellinger this week. Like you're playing Josh Allen and the Bills. Like it's a tough look.